On today's episode, we are busting 4 myths about starting a creative career over the age of 50. Now, we didn't go to film school or follow the typical path of, film and TV production, but we made our own path through faith, friendship, and a fire that was lit in us long ago and has never died.
Yeah, we've always been creatives, but when we started in the 1900s, right, the path wasn't always clear, or it was a little bit more rigid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the resources were few for us. But it wasn't until it was like we hit our 50s that the pieces and the dots began to align. They began to connect. And we finally got to that point where we said, let's bet on ourselves. We could do this. We could
Always
do this.
bet on Black.
Hey, welcome back to That's a Wrap.
That's who we are.
Hey, I'm Annette. I am a freelance assistant director and producer. And I have over 10 years experience in film and TV production. And I'm also co-founder of GrowCo Media.
Thank you. That is the most important part. And I'm Naomi. I am a writer-producer with about 5 years in production and also another co-founder of GrowCo Media. This podcast is all about creators, especially those of us over 50 who are, hopping right into that content game.
Yeah. And today's episode, we are diving into our story, right? And the path that we have chosen to take. Because some people may think that it's unconventional, but I don't like to use that word. I think that everybody's pathways are completely different. And we're going to dive into why now everything seems to be popping off for us.
Yes. And of course, the 4 myths, right?
Yeah.
We're going to give you some myths. Now, I don't know who created this list of myths, but somebody had the time. So we're going to talk about these myths and just really prove to everyone out there that age really is literally just a number.
It's just a number. And also it's, timing, right? And I like to believe that God's timing is always the right timing.
Always.
And you are, wherever you are, that's where you're supposed to be. And, I just feel like this is
it.
Where we're supposed to be right now.
Fact. So before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe. We are a small but mighty channel, still growing and
nimble.
And we would appreciate your support. So do us a solid.
Yep.
Okay. We're back. We wanted to just talk a little bit about why now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Why now and not then? And for me, why now is like, why not? Well, that's really it. That's really the bottom line is why not? And I say why not because, like you had said in our previous segment, it just clicked at the right time. You and I, and we've said it before in previous podcast episodes, that we have been writing, being creative. I even went to school and you were in my video. In my videos in those times when, reel to reels talk about editing.
Yeah.
Back then.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. Terrifying.
Splice and
terrifying.
Yeah.
But it just, at least for me in my 20s, 30s, even in my 40s, I would say the one thing that remained consistent was my desire to be in film and television and writing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but that's who you truly are, right?
Yeah.
And so regardless of if you're an executive assistant, you're still going to have that yearning and that desire, right?
Yes.
And because we were in corporate, we grew up in a time where it was just like you weren't a creative, right?
No. A creative
because
you
didn't make money. Like you went and got a job at the post office or you got something stable. So, your parents could see, you're getting a weekly paycheck and you have benefits.
Yeah.
You're always battling that.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it's not even like why now? It's things are just unfolding the way that they're supposed to be unfolding, and I am open to it all.
Yes.
Technology is different. So that means that we can reach more people. We can share.
Yeah.
Before you had to go through, in order to get anything on, you had to go through a studio. You had to know this person. You had to know. Not
get
saying that agent. You don't. Yeah.
But
I'm not saying that you don't have to do that now.
Yeah.
But you don't have to do that now. That's what I'm saying.
It's true. Because of technology.
Right.
Right. So as you and I were growing up, we were living in basics.
Yeah,
right.
So 3, 6, 10.
Right. So it was, the formula at that time was very much, if you wanted to be in film and television, you had a very specific path to take. And if you didn't take that path, you just never worked in film and television.
And independent films were known as like B movies,
yes.
right? And most of those were only like horror or really like bad sci-fi that you could see the spaceship on the string being like,
God, we loved it.
Oh my God.
It was cheesy,
they were
but we
so
loved it.
creative. Yeah.
But, and so now, like you said, like you mentioned, with technology, anybody who has the desire, you can do it today without following that typical path, right? You can make your own videos, you can make your own films, you can put it out there on a platform like YouTube or various other platforms, and make your passions, like be in that, live in that, and not be confined to get that job at Prudential,
or stay in that job at Prudential, because we're talking about like 50s, right? So, and I think that there's this change in mindset. I know it had to be for me, right? And as you guys know, like cancer, that was like that big thing for me, like YOLO, make it count. And then I quit my job and I started working for myself. But I honestly think it was RVN, being on that morning show, being on that show, Today's Talk 65, right? Anchoring that show.
Yeah.
That ignited this thing in me, that the reason why I left my job was to be in TV and film production.
Yes, full time.
Yep. And then I started working for myself, and that was going really well. Like I was building and building and building. Yeah. And then it was just like, my spirit guides was just like, wait, weren't you supposed to be doing this? And then I got this other opportunity to do Today's Talk 65. And it was like, oh my gosh, I was doing show formats. Yes. I was like producing, and I was loving every bit of it.
Yes.
And it was like, oh yeah, because I forgot that this is what I was supposed to be doing.
And thank you for inviting me down there so I can be there and then be like, this is exactly what we've always wanted to do. This is what we've always wanted to do. And although I am still in corporate, I am leaving corporate. I have made that decision because the time, it's Naomi of even 3-4 years ago is so different than Naomi of today.
Holla.
And so I'm like, if I don't jump all in, then I'm always going to kind of just be on the outside looking in and being like, should I?
Yeah.
Maybe. No.
Because I think that we're taught to play it safe in life.
Yeah.
But if you're always playing it safe in life, you're not doing anything.
Yeah. You're playing the safe. That's the only thing that you're doing.
And you're not doing anything. No. Like you're waking up, going to work, coming home, maybe hanging out with your friends and happy hour, coming home. You're not putting yourself out there. You're not growing. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
And I think that there are a lot of people like us in our 50s and over. They're just like, I want more.
Yeah.
You want to feel that, like, oh my gosh, this is pulling us out. Yeah. Because right now we are working on something that is literally pulling us. And although we're tired and it's hard sometimes, you see the smile on my face? I am so exhilarated. I am so excited about what's
to come. And that is the driver, is that knowing that where we are right now is where we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
Because the excitement
100%.
the excitement. So bottom line, y'all.
Yeah.
If you're asking yourself, why now? Should I do this? Should I take this chance? Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. And so let's get in with the 4 myths that we've always been told.
Yeah.
Right? That could probably be those like little seeds of fear and doubt that are peckering in the back of your head.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So the first one, if you haven't made it by 30, you never will.
But honestly, we heard that very much.
Oh, 100%.
Being 30 was like,
oh my God.
If you haven't literally ruled the world by 30,
if
you're trash.
If you haven't gotten married, if you don't own a home, if you don't have that corner office, you need to be having at least have your first kid be one by your 30.
There were so many things that you had to check off by the time you were 30.
And that's why, looking back, 20-year-olds looked like they were like 50, 60.
When I see pictures of actors, because I should probably just look at people I know, but when I look at actors from the 80s.
Oh my God.
And then you hear their ages and they're like, this is so and so at 35. Like this is how old they were when they were on the show. And I'm like, how?
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was, because the society was telling all of us that by 30 you should have this, and this. And if you didn't meet that, then and a lot of it was just ingrained in us, even though we all knew it was pure trash. But we all were driven to still hit a mark by the time we were 30.
Yeah.
So don't believe that crap.
Yeah.
I really think in today's time, I don't think it
and creativity isn't fast food.
Yes.
Like it's something that grows over time, and it's slow cooking. Meal.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, like, we started writing when we were 16. Trash. Now, come on. Fire.
Layers.
Yeah.
We are giving you layers. Yeah.
We are definitely different.
Yeah.
But I think like some of the most powerful creators exploded around like 50. I mean, like or Morgan Freeman, you know? Like shout out Morgan Freeman, man.
Electric Company.
Oh man, Viola Davis.
Yes.
You know,
Ava DuVernay. She had a whole different career.
Yeah.
Into her mid-30s.
Yeah, which she said she directed her first thing at like 30, 35.
I thought it was, or something. I think it may have been even 40.
Yeah.
So when these limitations that people may put on themselves, it really is you putting that on yourself.
Yeah, self-inflicted.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can do anything at any age.
Yeah.
Especially in the creative space. Mm-hmm. If it's like we've said before, if it's your jam, go for it.
Yeah. I mean, I directed my first commercial at 53.
Yeah.
So sky's the limit, y'all. Myth number 2. Go ahead.
It's too late to learn new technology.
You better.
You got no choice.
Yeah.
And we can tell you, just in the past few months, we've had to learn new technology. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you have to keep learning, right? Yeah. First of all, that's my number one.
Yeah.
Learning is an active sport. Like you've got to.
Life is ongoing learning.
Ongoing. So, and technology is changing almost by the day. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. By the day. So I can understand. As a matter of fact, I had a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, and we were talking about ChatGPT.
Yeah. And
she was just like, I was terrified of it because it just seemed like it was too hard to learn. It was, all of these things that we kind of tell ourselves.
It's literally just writing in there what you need.
But her point was, once I learned how to write a proper prompt, she said, we together. We a couple. Yeah. She's like, we're together.
That is true. Like,
but it's all part of the learning, right? Yeah. Once you step away from the fear of new technology and you decide to learn it, then once you get the feel for it and you're just like, okay, now I understand how it works, you're unstoppable.
Yeah, and do it in the privacy of your own home, right?
So you got to be in a public place.
Yeah.
How y'all turn this thing on?
Right, no. Right. Fail in your home, and also like editing equipment, get those programs, put something in there, something short, mess it up, delete it, start it over again.
I wouldn't recommend starting on Adobe.
No. Start with Canva.
Adobe Premiere, let me tell you.
Oh my gosh, Adobe Rush. Start with Adobe Rush.
Yeah. Because I started on Adobe Premiere and I was just like, Lord help me. Guide me through this. Because it was way too much for me at one time. Then I learned about Rush and I was like, that's more my pace. But we're editing.
Yeah, and like we didn't grow up editing or making thumbnails.
We sure didn't.
So it's something that we have to like learn, literally relearn every week, right? Because especially on this app, and what worked last week may not work this week because of the algo,
And the many influencers that are sitting there telling you this week you should be doing this.
Yeah. So myth number 3. I love this one. You should be settled now, right? Not starting over.
Be happy where you are.
Yeah.
Come on, you're over 50. Why do anything new?
And I think the people that say that are frightened of life. And you can't wear that coat.
No.
So if you are thinking about doing something drastic, thinking of making changes, I say keep it to yourself and do not share it with everybody.
Yeah.
I had this one acting coach, back in the day I wanted to be an actress, that said...
And somehow I'm the one who's acting these days. But okay. No desire, but sure. Okay.
Never share your dreams with those that do not share your dreams. Sometimes you got to keep things in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Because you're the only one that's holding it together.
Yeah.
And you have to be the one to tell yourself that everything is going to be okay. And my mantra that I've been saying, my success is inevitable, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And creativity is in a straight line.
It's not.
Just like life. Life is not a straight line. You're not born and then it's just like, okay, everything's planned out straight and you just follow this path.
Yeah.
We all know that that's not how things work out.
It's not. And I don't know why. Well, I do know why society does that.
Control.
Control. I'm in control. So what she said, control. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm just going to leave it at that.
It's not a straight line. It's this. It's this.
Yeah. I just want to say.
Okay. I love the finger.
Yes. We didn't start over. Right? We just started differently. And I do believe that the documentary was when we said, we can do this.
Yes. Yeah.
We want to do this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that was that turning point.
It really was.
It was not going back.
Yeah.
We're not going to just stop this and then pray something comes our way. We are going to
will it.
We're going to create opportunities for ourselves.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We had different tools, wisdom, we had a team. And I really think that project falling so hard on us, it gave us the clarity that we didn't have before.
Yeah. It really was, because it took us through the trenches, the true ups and downs of production, and that down being, something may not come through fruition and it just doesn't get finished. And we had to just moving through that and dealing with the feelings and the emotions and everything, the disappointments, all of that. We came out of it going, ready to jump in again.
Yep. Yep. What's next? How are we going to do it? How are we going to
create for us?
How are we turning Girl Code Media into something that's viable and sustainable?
Yes.
And I remember, we had that conversation. And and then once we became aligned, everything started aligning for us because we had to get in sync.
And remember that, right? Always be in alignment with yourself.
Yeah.
Your inner self.
Yeah.
Always that is your truest path, right?
And if I can say this about alignment, there's this myth that alignment means that everything is okay and everything is like daisies and running. Alignment does not mean that.
Running through the field.
Yeah, alignment is icky. It can
harsh,
feel really tight, but that you are on that path. On the right path.
Absolutely. It's not. It's not always pretty.
Yeah,
and a lot of times it is uncomfortable.
It is,
and that's when you know that you're being guided to alignment.
And scary because it's those things that you really need.
Okay. So. Number 4. Ain't nobody got time for this.
Ain't nobody got time for this.
No one wants to hear from older creatives.
Oh my God. Like 75% of YouTube is like older creatives. Shout out.
75% of the people who watch this channel are way younger than us.
That's a stat I didn't know.
Yes. Our analytics tell us that the people who find That's a Wrap are between the ages of 25 and 35.
Wow. Hey, what's up, y'all?
Yeah. I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
On this platform, if you want to be on YouTube or any platform where you are sharing yourself, your true self.
Yep, your authentic self.
It's a voice that will resonate with someone. They will find you.
Yeah.
They will find you.
Yeah.
You're doing this for you. You're doing this to connect with people. So don't be afraid and don't let anybody tell you, ain't nobody trying to listen to you. Trust me. I know I'll find you. I'm on here a lot.
Yeah, me too. But I think that seasoned creatives, that we bring a different...
What is it, Net?
Lowry's.
Bring the Lowry's.
Like, we just bring like a truth. We bring authenticity. Not all of this,
wisdom.
But wisdom, an experience.
Resilience.
Lived, right? Because, and we have things to share.
Yeah.
So, but...
I just had a memory of like when growing up and seeing our parents' friends who were 50
look old,
seemed like they were.
Yeah.
I was just like, I guess death is close,
right?
Like how old?
Yeah.
But I just remember being, at that time in our lives, we had to be quiet. You could be there, but nobody had to see you or hear you, right? But just listening to the adult conversations. You learned things you didn't even think that you learned until later in life when you're just like, oh, I remember they had that. Oh my God, I remember they talked about that.
Yeah.
So look, we're over 50. We've got things to say.
And we want to share. I also think that another thing that's really important about this is that, especially on this app, it's this whole chasing subscribers, chasing views and CTRs and all that other
monetization
stuff. Yeah. For us, it's not necessarily about that. Will we like that? Yeah. Is it going to come? Yeah. Because like I told you, my success is inevitable. I put in the work. We put in the work.
Yeah.
Our success is inevitable.
Yeah.
Right. And whatever our definition of success is.
Yes.
We're not chasing trends. We're not chasing that viral moment. We're not doing any of that. I think we're not trying to be the loudest in the room.
Right.
Like, we're here just to
be in the room.
Be in the room and share what it is that we want to share.
Yeah.
How can we help you make your next project better? How can we help you make your project, right? Like not listening to fear and doubt. And I think that is one of the gifts that we can give, and that's a wrap.
Absolutely. It's whatever you make it.
Yeah.
And please take whatever you can from our conversations.
Bring the real. That's it. Bring the real, whatever that is.
Yes.
Just bring it.
Okay.
But there is one stat before we end it.
Oh, yes.
Google reports a surge in 45 plus creators finding audiences, especially in lifestyle and commentary. So the time is now. Like I was saying, we're not chasing viral anything, but the time is now.
Yeah.
And if you ever thought about it, you knit. Make that channel.
You exist. Make that channel.
You know?
I'm telling you, there is someone out there that will connect with you.
Yeah. All right. So, you know what? That was my jam. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes.
Don't stay away.
That's how we count down.
Too long. Pretty darling. Let us know in the comments, what dream did you come back to at 40 or 50?
Ooh.
I would love.
We want to hear about that.
Yeah, I would definitely love to hear that.
We absolutely want to hear about that. And as always, like, subscribe, hit that notification. I don't know where it is, but y'all know where it is. Hit that notification so you get to know when we are dropping something hot.
Sprinkling some Lowry's.
All right, y'all. I think that's it.
That's a wrap.